Hello everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video. As always, I am Timothy Kennedy, and I finally got to see one of my top 3 movies of the year, which is Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. There is no way you guys forgot, but if you did forget, Nolan is probably like the top director of our time at this moment, and not because this man is a mastermind behind like the Dark Knight series, which is probably some of the best Batman movies we've ever gotten, but he also had a legendary movie called Oppenheimer that came out that created the phenomenon Barbenheimer that did almost $1 billion. And now that he doesn't switch to a realistic bomb being dropped on Japan, he has now decided to switch to Greek gods, curses, witches, cyclops, and everything else under the sun. And I will say, when it comes to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, this man hit another goddamn banger. To be fair, I already knew it was going to be absolutely goated anyways, but I just needed to obviously double confirm by watching it myself. The Odyssey is not an easy thing to adapt. This is probably going to be a very long glazed video. If you guys do like movie reviews, movie reactions, and all things in the entertainment space, please consider dropping a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that. And if you don't like and subscribe, I'm gonna send that Cyclops, all right, to come and kill you. Now, there was an Odyssey movie before that I'm sure most of you guys did not watch, and if you are curious, the Odyssey is a book. I attempted to listen to an audiobook explaining the Odyssey, and I almost cracked my own neck, and I could not do it. Way too intense, way too much difficult stuff happening. So instead, I proceeded to wait like everybody else for the Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. And everything that all these grifters were complaining about when they heard about the castings and them just having, you know, just normal speech and no accent, like just American English, automatically just goes out the window because every choice they made was working for me. In fact, I think it being a more modern way of speaking allowed me to actually understand what the story was. Considering this man had a lot of stuff to go ahead and give us lore-wise backstories, side characters, quests, different monsters, like this was pretty coherent to understand. And even though the runtime is like 3 hours or so, I promise you, you do not feel any of that because there's just constantly stuff always happening, and it is an extremely loud movie. Second thing I want to hop on, we are in a state in this world when it comes to filmmaking that most things to save money just get thrown to green screen and CGI, and thankfully and hopefully not yet AI stuff. Yeah, that's creeping up. Because Christopher Nolan is that guy, he proves to me why filmmaking is here and why it should be made by people with real actors, real directors, and real producers actually like behind this. I don't even know where CGI was used. I have no clue when they used it. They had animals on this thing. They had literally animals showing up, and I can't tell, and I know that had to be CGI because how do you just have a lion just there? But knowing Christopher Nolan, there's a chance that maybe it wasn't CGI. The sets were just extremely realistic. Like that budget was like $250 plus like I think another $125 in marketing. It completely exceeds Supergirl and all those other big heavy CGI movies. I mean, that's not even to mention all the stuff they had to do just for the IMAX camera he wanted to use, but it was absolutely just incredible. I mean, those shots, man, especially on the water. This is why we do movies, people. Now, the highlight to me when it came to the Odyssey, it just had to be Christopher Nolan was actually able to move the story along and make each adventure with Odysseus and his crew like spectacular in its own way. Seeing the Cyclops and the detrimental mistakes that they made, dealing with the witches and Poseidon and Zeus's wrath on the ocean, running into giant looking titans that have human-like features who are able to have like wood or tree powers, being attacked by these rock snake dragon things while they try to avoid a tidal pool, and then running into sirens as well, and then talking to the dead. Might I mention, also hiding inside of a giant wooden Trojan horse. This man was able to somehow encapsulate all of these major moments that honestly could be big highlights in the movie and just constantly allow them to have their own individual greatness as you watch them. It is very easy for a movie that is this long to become very boring and very stale. And I think how fast paced this movie was going, you constantly couldn't feel bored because stuff is constantly always teleporting and happening. You were literally dealing with flashbacks at the same time time of like cutting to other characters and then showing other people doing their own thing and plotting their own stuff. And so at least in the beginning, it definitely felt like it was getting a bit over convoluted with them showing backstories and everything else and just trying to give us as much information as possible so that we can understand the second half until you get there. Once you get there, everything makes sense because you're basically just following Odysseus at that point. And now it then makes sense why they decide to rush forward for the past like 30 to 40 minutes, because they have to get as much information to you as possible to what's going on. Another point that I want to get off my chest is that everybody complaining about the casting can honestly go ahead and eat the bottom of my shoe. They were complaining about Lupita playing Helen of Troy, who by the way looks absolutely gorgeous in her role, and she was barely even in it. And the scene she was in, she killed it. Same thing when it came to Travis Scott. I also was questioning why in God's name Travis Scott the rapper is in a Christopher Nolan movie. This man does not have the same acting chops as Anne Hathaway or Matt Damon, and I could have never guessed what role he would have been given. And the role that he got was some sort of rapper poet guy, and it is the most perfect casting for Travis Scott you had possibly had. And also the fact that Nolan knows that Travis is more of a rapper than an actor, and so he didn't overuse him and he didn't underuse him either. Everybody's role in this film was clearly picked extremely well, and they played the absolute soul out of it. Like, you know, these actors are veterans, all right? You could feel that. And honestly, you know that because some of these people like Zendaya barely was in it that much, considering she was probably also filming something else herself, but the scenes she did get, she killed it. I am unfortunately stuck on figuring out what is my favorite part of this movie. It is honestly between the Trojan horse scene and the final scene when Odysseus decides to go complete ape shit. I mean, because that man, Matt, he was straight up 1v20 an entire group of Greek soldiers until they kneeled for him. His aura was so strong that the moment they all realized he had finally came home after all those years of him not being there, his wife ran away and Robert Pattinson's character was trying to run away because they already knew what was about to happen next. Overall, this movie is a full 10 out of 10 for me. So much of a 10 out of 10, I'm about to endure another 3 hours of that tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm saying tomorrow because I'm shooting this the night before, but when you guys see it, it will be today. And I'm gonna be watching it probably one more time when I can finally get a 70mm ticket. They have been sold out for not 1 week, but also 2 weeks. I might be cooked to watch this in 70mm until Spider-Man comes out. I wonder what Tom Holland feels like. I mean, literally 2 of the characters in this movie are also in Spider-Man. So they're just going from possibly a gigantic big win right here to have a second gigantic big win right over here. And trust me, I'm sure Tom Holland is definitely in Doomsday and Zendaya has Dune 3. They're just living life right now, bro. But I really want to watch it in 70mm, man. But like the only options is front row, and it already hurts your neck just watching a normal movie in the front row. Imagine in 70mm, the characters are essentially eating you like Titan. Anyways, go ahead and comment your thoughts down below. Did you guys like the movie? Did you dislike the movie? What was one of your favorite parts of this film? I am curious on your thoughts on one of the biggest movies of this year. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be all for oh my god, I nearly almost forgot Ludwig. Ludwig is like 50% of this movie. The hypeness, the scariness, the anticipation is all built on how this man did his score. He is about to sweep the Oscars again. I think anytime he's in like some sort of movie or something, he is always gonna probably get nominated, and he's always gonna be the winner because he is just that guy. That man is almost like a music god. He's just able to tell what needs to be done for what scenes, because that entire drum beating, the Trojan horse invasion, it was all built up anticipation because of the music. Anyways, that's it. That's it for real this time. Anyways, as always, guys, I'm T Kennedy, and I will see you guys at the concession stands.